Good morning, Outlookers. How are you? It's been quite a while, and I just dropped by to share with you one very important verse. It's actually one of my life verses, and that is found in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, and it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." So it has a very significant meaning to my life, Outlookers, this particular verse, giving me the assurance that God has plans for me. Actually, He declares that He has plans for me. He declared that He has plans for me. Plans to prosper me and not to harm me. Plans to give me hope and a future. And it is also true to you, Outlookers. So, whatever predicament you are in now, perhaps you have big problems, you have hard trials, you just lost a loved one, or you have just been out of work, or you are buried in financial difficulties, or perhaps you have relational problems. Marami tayong mga problema sa buhay, mga Outlookers, but let us rest assured in the verse in Jeremiah 29:11 that God has declared that He has plans for us, plans to prosper us, not to harm us, plans to give us hope and a future. But I would like to emphasize also, Outlookers, that prospering under the plan of God may not necessarily be financial in aspect. No, prospering could also mean spiritual enrichment. It could also mean, most importantly, actually, no, because what can money do if you are not in good terms with God? What can money do if you have hurt so many people? You have oppressed so many people. What can money do if you have no peace at night time when you sleep? Hindi ka makakatulog. Bakit? Marami kang ino-oppress, marami kang nagawa na hurting to other people, marami kang mga rights na kinurtail. You curtailed so many rights. So marami kang mga ill thoughts about others. Marami kang mga unforgiveness nurtured in your hearts. So yung sinasabi dito, mga Outlookers, na prospering us may not necessarily be financial. But I tell you, in the Old Testament, the men of God were also prospered financially. Abraham was so rich. David, Solomon was the richest man on earth. And Isaac was so rich. Even Jacob was so rich. So, and on top, this is all on top of the spiritual, richness that God has promised. So, once again, I'd like to say, in Jeremiah 29:11, the Lord is declaring, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you." No? So if there are harmful things in your life, harmful occurrences in your life right now, rest assured that these are all temporary. This will all pass. So as long as you love God, as long as you worship Him, these will all pass. No? So once again, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." So Outlookers, there is always hope. When you are in a situation of despair now, there will always be hope for you. There will always be a bright morning for you. So plans to give you hope and a future. It is God declaring this. It's not It's not just anybody, it's God declaring this. Because the verse says, for I know the plans I have for you. God can never be mistaken in whatever He does and in whatever He allows in our lives. So let's just rest assured that everything will work together for good for those who love the Lord. So let's continue to worship God. Let's continue to be in close intimacy with Him, because that's that is the opening, that is the secret of the blessings of the Lord. So I think that's all. I have arrived in my venue. So thank you so much, Outlookers. Keep loving God, keep worshiping Him. And I would like to remind you that worship is not just singing songs or raising your hands. Worship is a way of life. How do you live your life? That is worshiping God. No? So thank you so much. Have a nice week. I love you all.